Hey everyone, welcome back to Alltalk Watches Twin Peaks. This week we are talking about episode 13 of season 3. I am Mr. X, and who else is here?
Kevin on that party line.
Just Kevin and I podcasting forever. Isn't that so beautiful?
It
Does that make you want to cry?
I actually am crying.
It's gone too far this time. I couldn't believe it when that was happening.
Couldn't you?
I mean, I could. It felt like I was being trolled so hard.
Weren't you?
We all got rickrolled.
James rolled.
Exactly.
Well, James was always cool.
I guess.
Still is.
I don't think that was the only time we were trolled in this episode, though. But we'll get to it. Because we should just start from the beginning.
Hop on that party line.
Yeah, it was party time for Dougie Jones.
Party in the office.
And for Bushnell.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a party to me if I got a free BMW convertible.
Yeah. Yep.
He and Dougie got matching ones.
Well, because they are BFFs.
Of course. But during this, Tom Sizemore didn't look too happy.
Yeah, because he didn't get a car. I'd be unhappy.
Well, he looked like he was worried that he was about to be whacked or something.
Yeah, he started hiding under the desk.
Well, probably I feel like they would have recognized him. Because he was remember he was the one who told him he was talking bad on Dougie Jones when he was like, yeah, you're not going to get your insurance. Like, he's the one who went to go see him. So they'd recognize him from that. And they'd know, oh, this guy's a liar. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But those weren't the only gifts. Also, Sonny Jim got that fancy gym set for the backyard with all the lights all over it.
The spotlight was a bit much.
Oh, I would love that.
I'd lose my
mind.
The neighbors hate that house.
I would like a series, like a short series of 6 episodes, just told from the perspective of Dougie Jones's neighbors.
Neighbors and coworkers.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. So what happened next?
Stuff and things.
Things and stuff?
Yeah, things and stuff. But after that, they went out to Western Montana.
Oh, yeah.
With Doppelkoop.
He's got himself a nice big old truck. Which, I gotta be honest, I wouldn't mind having that truck he rolled in on.
I would mind. But yeah, after that, Doppelkoop shows up at this hideout, and he's I'm looking for Ray Monroe. He didn't kill.
Yeah, Ray said that he killed him, and then the boss said, well, you didn't kill him too good, Ray.
Well, let's be real. He killed him pretty good. But
he didn't follow through.
Yeah, because he didn't put the ring on.
Yeah.
Which apparently he had a ring.
Well, yeah, now we know how important that was, but it was he never even got the chance. That's like saying, I didn't get a chance to, I can't even think of an accurate analogy, but because the woodsman started circling and dancing around Doppelkoop almost immediately.
So he was scared off by a couple of lumberjack ghosts that were rubbing blood all over him?
Man, I would have been too.
Okay, so then Doppelkoop gets challenged to an arm wrestling match. And whoever wins the match becomes the new boss.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke.
No. Why would they joke about such things?
I don't know.
Why would they joke about anything? But yeah, so the guy who is currently who was currently the boss, don't read too much into my grammar there. The guy who was the boss was he was a big guy. He wasn't huge, but he had some muscle to him.
He was much bigger than Coop. He was bigger than Coop.
Yeah. In any reasonable world.
You wouldn't mess with him.
No, I wouldn't have messed with any of those guys. They weren't big burly biker guys, but they were guys that if I If I saw causing trouble, I don't know that I would interfere.
Even the accountant guy who was just like, you need any money?
You know, he's the type of guy, he looks wormy and weaselly enough that I bet he has like a knife hidden somewhere and he'd like stab you.
Yeah, he's the one you have to watch out for the most.
Yeah. He's actually got like a bomb vest underneath that suit, or he's gonna do something completely crazy.
He's like Bruce Lee. You just don't even realize.
Yeah, you're already dead. It's like, yeah, he's you know how they say you gotta watch out for the quiet ones?
Yeah.
He's the quiet one.
So how long did this arm wrestling match go for?
It seemed like
minute?
about 5 minutes. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I agree, it did. Because it looked like the big guy was going to win, but then Doppelkoop just stopped and said, no, starting position is more comfortable.
And when you put my arm down like this, it hurts. Even more so when you get it like right there next to the table. And
See,
then,
doesn't this hurt?
yeah, see this, yeah. I was totally expecting him to like rip his arm off like mid forearm and just do something like that, which is almost what happened.
I was expecting like a fly situation where he breaks the arm.
Yeah, I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting what came after he beat him.
Yeah, he slammed his arm down and then he murdered him by punching him one time in the face.
Yeah, he literally punched
Apparently
his
he
face.
could just cave a man's face in.
And then it was info dump time from Ray
And then we find out about the ring.
and Jeffries.
Yes.
Now, for those who don't remember, Philip Jeffries is the agent who is played by David Bowie.
I hope David Bowie makes an appearance.
I actually forgot about that.
That was him?
Yeah, I completely forgot that that's who that was. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah, Jeffries hired him to kill Doppelkoop because Jeffries wants what's inside of him, which I think that means he wants Bob? Or maybe he wants Bob gone because he was supposed to put the ring on him, which would have sent him back to the lodge, right?
Yeah.
And then during this info dump, in my notes I put Evilest Horn because I couldn't remember his name.
Richard Horn.
Yeah, Richard Horn shows up.
Yeah.
Dick Horn.
And and they're all watching this whole interrogation on a big screen because I guess there's a camera up there.
Yeah, it's the best camera, the best security camera that no one knows where it is, or that you can't like see. It's like TV quality.
Yeah.
TV, that was like movie quality. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was like 4K, professionally lit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
red,
a huge wall.
UHD.
And then,
anyway.
Ray said that Doppelkoop asked Ray where Jeffries was, and Jeffrey said, I couldn't make out the exact words, but I think he's at the Dutchman.
Yeah.
The Flying Dutchman.
He's like, but I looked for it, and there's no such place. And then, boom! And he goes, I know where that is.
And he had Ray put the ring on, and then after he shot him, the ring, and he went back to the lodge.
But there was someone there. Are we to assume that was Mike?
I think so.
In the lodge, yeah. That's what I got.
But it was a right arm, wasn't it? And Mike doesn't have his right arm. Or does he not have his left arm?
I don't think he has his left. I don't know.
But I think that's who it was. Who else would it be?
I don't know. Certainly not Hastings. He's dead. Okay, so yeah, it was... Mike does have his right arm. I appreciate the fact that you linked us to the Italian Wikipedia.
I mean, it seems appropriate.
Mike è un personaggio immaginario della serie televisiva statunitense I segreti di Twin Peaks, creata da Mark Frost e David Lynch.
For the listeners, what happened is I did a quick Google image search for Twin Peaks Mike, and I linked to the very first image I came across, and it was from Italian Wikipedia.
That's funny.
Seems appropriate though for Twin Peaks. So then the next scene was the laughing cops.
Oh, are they Fusco? Is that their name?
I don't remember.
Something like that. Anyway, the annoying cops. who, in their brilliance of trying to get out of like dinner with their mother on Sunday or whatever, they get the information back about Dougie Jones's fingerprints. He's like, he escaped from prison, and he's a missing FBI agent.
Well, that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is. Well, I mean, but if you think about it, so if you got that information, that strains credibility.
I mean, I don't know. I'd maybe try to follow up with it a little bit just to make sure it's wrong.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Maybe contact the FBI, ask for a picture of the guy. I don't know. That was the other scene that I was talking about where I feel like we got trolled really hard.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, and it seems like, yeah, I remember thinking a few episodes ago, it's like, oh, wait, when they finally get these prints back, that's when the Las Vegas Metro PD will get linked up with the FBI, and then that'll bring them out there.
Yeah, I think that's what David Lynch wanted us to think. He set us up.
Yeah, everything about this show is that's what David Lynch wanted us to think.
And then he throws our expectations in the trash.
And then he laughs at us.
Yeah.
And makes us watch James Marshall perform a song. Yeah. So that kind of happens. But then
outside the police station then was Tom Sizemore. I can't think of his name.
Anthony.
I prefer Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, he realizes that if the Mitchums aren't going to finish the job of killing Dougie Jones, then he has to, or else something bad's gonna happen to him.
Yeah, he contacted what's his name? Was it Todd? Something like that.
Yeah, it's Patrick Fischler.
Yeah, he contacts him. He says that you have 1 day to fix this. He said, but before you said I had 2 days. You have 1 day to fix this. And so then he goes to the cops to try to get the poison.
Yeah, I know that they said what it was, but I didn't hear. I couldn't make it out exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
So it was like I couldn't tell you if it was something that was real or what, but it's like, this is going to cost you 5 G's.
So yeah, then cut to what's his name? Tim Roth.
Tim Roth and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah, they're in the van.
Talking about Mormons.
Yep, Mormon discussion. I guess they were just there to remind you that they still exist.
Pretty much. Well, or that they're going somewhere there. So where were they before?
Wendy's.
Well, but where was that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, we're South Dakota because they killed the.
Oh yeah, so if they're moving from South Dakota and they're now in Utah, then they're heading sort of west and south. So it's like
to get Dougie Jones.
So they're going to go get Dougie Jones. So they're close if they're in Utah. Like, I think I saw a sign for Provo.
I don't think it's going to end well for him. Although, that's my expectations. So, David Lynch is going to have them kill Dougie Jones.
No.
Quote unquote.
They're going to shoot him, head's going to explode. Doppelkoop wins.
Ultimate troll. No, I think this seriously ends with Doppelkoop and Dougie Jones being the last 2 people on Earth. Because that makes as much sense as anything else at this point.
I hope it goes back to being black and white, and then fire and static for like 40 minutes.
That would make as much sense as anything else at this point.
Exactly.
Coop is going to wake up, but he's actually going to be the character from Dune, and this has all been his dream, and we're watching Dune.
Yeah, and then the sleeper has awakened. Oh my god, if they could actually work that in so that when he wakes up, or when he snaps out of it, if he says the sleeper has awakened, that would be like really awesome. I know way too much about the David Lynch Dune movie.
I've seen that movie a few times. It's long.
I have seen that movie more than a few times. I have probably seen that movie like 100 times.
Yeah, I've seen it like 0.
So Totoro, do you remember the tooth?
Yeah, I remember the tooth. The tooth. Whenever, so there's a part in that where Jessica, the lady Jessica, Francesca Annis, is like, she's observing Dean Stockwell as Dr. Yui, examine a bunch of Fremen house staff, and she looks at it and she can tell something's not quite right about him. But then she looks up at it like zooms in on his face, and it goes up to the imperial conditioning on his forehead. And he's like, she says like, his imperial conditioning, and I always want to say it's gone to his head, and it's just like I've seen it so many times that I have internal jokes about it. But anyway, that is not a good movie.
Nope, it isn't.
But I like it. But I recognize that it is a terrible, terrible movie, and it's a horrible adaptation of the book. David Lynch has a cameo in that.
He's also in Twin Peaks.
But not in this episode.
Nope.
So we should move right along.
So then it was back to Dougie, right? After the Mormon discussion?
Yep.
And he was getting out of his new fancy car, and I noticed that car has fancy seats.
Well, it is a BMW.
That is true.
They are categorically better than Mercedes-Benz.
Good to know.
Wrong.
I just
We're not
said
getting
that.
into this right now.
I did that just to wind you up.
I know you did.
I think a fight's about to happen.
No fights about it. I could not care less.
So then Dougie got confused by a glass door. He walked right into it, right?
Yeah. Oh, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even one of those like he acted like he hit it and like hit it with his foot and acted. You could see the smudge from Kyle MacLachlan's forehead on that door.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, he sold it.
He committed.
So yeah, but then Anthony, and once he finally gets in, thanks to a good Samaritan, Anthony, who is Tom Sizemore, wants to take him to go get some coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. He likes coffee.
He really likes coffee.
Then they sit down at the table, and he takes a big drink of his coffee, and then he spots something in the distance and gets up from the table and just wanders in. He spotted a piece of pie.
Cherry pie.
Because of course he did.
And then he comes back and he massages him?
Well, he sees something on the back of his jacket, like it looks like dandruff.
Yeah, I think it was dandruff.
It was either dandruff. At first, I thought maybe it was sweat, like he was sweating profusely because he's nervous. But I'm pretty sure it was dandruff.
Or sand? I know, but then it was like he was drawing in it or something?
Well, he was like trying to read it like it was Braille on the back of this guy's shoulders.
And then he had a breakdown and... Well, he had put poison in the coffee. Forgot to mention that.
And it's not like he was that far from... It's not like the Tom Sizemore character was that far from being completely unhinged here, because you could tell that he was already highly uncomfortable. He really did not want to have to do this because he didn't want to have to implicate himself in anything.
Yeah, so he freaked out then and grabbed the coffee and went and dumped it out.
In a urinal for some reason.
So you could flush it. The evidence.
Well, but a sink is just as good.
Yeah, but it's... No one... people use the sink. No one's sticking their face or hands into a urinal.
Well,
Yeah,
but
you
if
get
you...
the poison on their hands.
Well, but at the same time, that's why you rinse it. I mean, you look a hell of a lot more suspicious dumping a cup of coffee into a urinal, and it was a little shorty urinal. There could have been kids using that urinal.
But then the guy that saw him do it, it was just like, that bad, huh?
But yeah, he was not in a good place.
No, he was very
losing
sorry.
it.
The next scene was in the office, right? With the boss?
Yes.
Yeah, where he's confessing everything to Bushnell and Dougie. As much as Dougie is there for anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Every time we talk about him, it's like he's barely there. The only things that he knows he likes are coffee, cherry pie, and chocolate cake, and evidently relations with his wife.
Yes. He quite enjoys that.
So then after that, it kind of goes over to the double R, and there was a little bit of interspersion here where like it would cut, like it actually cut to Becky calling
Was it Becky?
Shelley.
Is her name Becky or
It's
Beth?
Becky. It's
Okay.
Becky. So yeah, Shelley says, come down and we'll have some pie and ice cream, because she's
With
all
whipped
worried,
cream on top.
and she's all worried about, because Steven's been gone for 2 days. She's not seen him or heard from him.
Yeah, then Bobby comes in, right?
Yep.
And he orders the usual. And the usual was spaghetti. I don't know if that's important. Probably not. But I noted it.
Yeah, well, and Ed had the meatloaf.
I think it was meatloaf.
But the other thing is that this is the first time that we've seen Ed back in this in the return.
Yes.
So I was like all about it. And for those who don't remember, Ed was also in Dune.
He was also in The People Under the Stairs. I don't know if that is probably not worth noting it
That is probably not worth no. But we will try, because it's as good of a shot as anything else.
Yeah, he was sitting with Norma, so you assume that they were together, because that's where they kind of left off on Twin Peaks, right? In season 2?
Yeah.
Like, Nadine went crazy and wanted a divorce from him because she thought she was a teenager?
That sounds right, but I don't really remember.
But then Walter shows up, and apparently he's with Norma, and Norma has franchised the Double R.
And who is Walter?
Does
anyone
Walter.
know?
I think this is the first time we've seen him.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen him in anything else.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and all the other locations of the Double R are doing well, except this one, because she's using too good of ingredients for her pies. So Walter was telling her that she needs to start using, cheaper ingredients. But I was saying, why not just raise the price of the pie?
That sounds like it would make sense.
I mean, if she still wants it to be super good, just charge 50 cents more or something. I don't know. I don't run a restaurant.
You know what the easiest way to wind up with $1 million in the restaurant business is?
Don't go in the restaurant business.
I'll start with $2 million.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess all the other locations are called the Norma's Double R.
Yep. But this one's been he's trying to convince her to change this one. But she's resistant.
Yeah, because this is the original, and it's been called the Double R for 50 years.
But they're still getting dinner tonight, right? Is that what he said?
Maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Because when he said that, I was like, wait a sec. How late is it right now? Because it seemed like relatively late.
That's true. It was night. We know it was night because the next scene was Run Silent, Run Drapes, when Dr. Jacoby saw the golden shovel in the display in the window. And then there was a little scene between them. He said the first time he saw Nadine, or the last time he saw Nadine, she was looking for a potato.
Yeah, she dropped it on the floor in the grocery store.
You ever feel like David Lynch is intentionally wasting our time?
Constantly.
Oh, so what was next?
Oh, the Palmer residence.
Yes.
For everything else, like there's a lot about this show that makes me feel ill at ease and just generally uneasy. But anytime that they do anything with that Palmer residence and with Sarah Palmer, I just it's not that it's bad or uninteresting, but I am just not about it, because I just feel like something really bad is about to happen like any time.
Yeah, because it was weird. She was watching like an old boxing match, but it just kept looping, and there was this weird like electricity sound.
Yeah.
And there was also 2 bunnies on like the stand that's next to the TV.
I don't know what that means.
Is it the bunnies?
No.
Oh my god.
It's not the bunny.
Or is it the bunnies?
But
then there was also a plate of maybe cream corn, but it also could have been mac and cheese. It wasn't clear.
What does that mean?
Well, if it's cream corn, that means evil.
Cream corn is evil? I don't remember that.
Well, that's what the stuff that it looks like that they throw up.
Well, that doesn't mean cream corn is evil.
No, cream corn is evil in this.
There
was also in Twin Peaks when the kid, which was David Lynch's kid, was holding like handfuls of cream corn. I'm telling you, Kevin, cream corn is evil and delicious.
My wife brought up a point. It was like, what if that old boxing match was Bushnell Mullins?
It could have been.
That could have been, yeah, that would actually be, that would
That would
make
be kind of
sense.
interesting.
Also, there may have been a photo of Laura Flynn Boyle on that table. It's
Why
unclear.
would there be a photo of Laura Flynn Boyle?
Wasn't she best friends with Laura Palmer?
Well, yeah, but
It wasn't just a photo of her. It was her and Laura.
oh, okay. Then that makes more sense. I thought you meant that it was just her.
No. Also, Sarah Palmer drinks and smokes a lot. There's like 3 ashtrays in this scene, and they're all full.
And there is like a half dozen bottles of, like, she has drank everything that she has on the table, but she goes looks for more.
Yeah.
I would not want to be her primary care physician.
So I am interpreting this to mean that she's just been in this house for 25 years, being driven insane by Bob or something.
I think that's a good strong possibility. Like, yeah, it may as well just, well, even if that's not the case, she's clearly haunted by everything that has happened.
Yeah, definitely, as she should be.
Well, yeah, no, and it would be complete, and it's just like she has never gone out and sought help for that or anything. But I have a feeling that there's definitely going to be something more of a supernatural bend to it, rather than just a pure psychological issue.
Yeah, that looping boxing match made me think there's some supernatural thing going on.
Yeah.
Because TV stuff doesn't just loop like that.
Well, also, when Hawk came to visit her, there was the noise in the kitchen or whatever.
And
Yeah.
and then there was also the ceiling fan.
Oh, yeah.
So then was Audrey. Audrey's back
Yeah, kind of.
in the exact same scene. I don't think any time has passed. No time has passed. I have a theory that
But what did she say?
What did she say? My theory is that whole scene is like her dream, and she's still in that coma.
I hope
I
not.
don't think so.
That's
I
a
don't
terrible
think so.
dream to be stuck in.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, she has no scars on her, and she was in a bank that blew up.
Yeah, she hid.
And she didn't know where the roadhouse was.
I mean, I would think that's just all part of the explosion thing.
And maybe she has
brain damage.
Head trauma.
Yeah, it could be like a wig or something, that kind of deal.
I mean, it's existentialism 101. Because he said that he was going to tell her story number 2. And then she was like, is that the story with... what? I forget. But then she wanted to hear the story, and she wanted to go.
Yeah, I have no clue what's going on there. Like, I know it's been posited a lot, but and I think that I was mentioning that I thought, something. There's some. I think some of this is being told out of order, and that's one that I think definitely points to things being told out of order.
I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible with this show.
Yeah, you know what's really possible with this show?
That the next scene was in the roadhouse?
Yeah, it was the last scene. It was in the. Well, I guess it wasn't the last scene, but yeah,
it was essentially the last scene.
It was ostensibly the last scene, and yeah, so usually we get good music to end the show with, but that one song that James plays in the original series with Donna Hayward, and that it was with Maddie, I guess, that they play and sing together, and here he's playing it with 2 younger women who are very creepy looking.
Are we to believe that he is a big famous musician now?
I mean, let's be real.
He was always cool.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I mean, if they have the 9 Inch Nails.
I know, if they're getting 9 Inch Nails, that means...
he can only be the same level, at least.
I know, right? Or bigger. He might be the most famous guy, because he was always cool.
Exactly.
Or I wonder if he's, like, maybe not quite as big, but since he's the hometown guy...
He's still pretty big. Maybe he was a one-hit wonder?
Yeah, with that one hit. He came back to home to play his one hit.
Because he was always cool?
He was always cool. I actually could not believe that was happening as I was watching it.
Well, you read my notes about this, right? For this?
Yeah, because while he's doing this, because as he's doing this, there's this woman sitting in one of the booths, and she just starts weeping. So do you want to read your notes here?
Sure, I said. I refuse to believe anyone would cry to this. Unless maybe they were being tortured with this. Like I currently am.
Well, I mean, and yeah, you said, is this really happening? David Lynch has gone too far this time.
Oh, you want me to go all the way to the
I want to know what I did to Lynch that deserves this. Why?
Yeah.
And then you end it with, James was always cool, I guess.
I think in my notes, I said, oh Jesus, that fucking song is back. And just there's a whole lot of lol. I can't believe that happened. Fuck you, Twin Peaks. Fuck you. There was I still can't believe that happened.
I know friend of the show, Darfox, was laughing at it. Which I get. Because it's such a big troll on David Lynch's part. It's like one of the most infamous scenes for being bad. And he brings it back.
Oh, man. So then it cuts to for the credits, basically. It cuts to Ed at his gas farm.
Yeah, and he has soup. Appears to be chicken noodle.
Yeah, drinking it out of a cup.
Even though he was just eating at the Double R.
Well, if we've learned anything about the people of this town, it's that they can eat constantly and have no health repercussions from that.
I mean, he had a big plate of meatloaf. It looked pretty good. Why would be eating soup later? Unless this is out of order. But why have a random scene of Ed eating soup just placed out of order?
He just really likes soup.
Maybe. Or maybe it was sentimental with the thing he burned. Because he burned like a little square piece of paper. Soup. I mean, soup is pretty good. Was that paper like supposed to be a callback to something?
If it was, I don't know what it would be. Unless it was... I mean, the only thing that I can think of would be like what they found in the thing that Major Briggs left for Bobby.
Right.
But Ed's one of the Bookhouse boys, so I'd have a hard time believing that he would have done that without at least sharing it with the others first.
Yeah, then he got back into that soup after he burned it, and then episode over. It's episode 13.
Did you see what the little thing the bear had said?
I did not.
Please bear with me.
Oh, Lord, I need that.
I've given up all hope on this show having a satisfying conclusion.
No, but it's like I need to find out at least where it goes.
I need to see.
Oh, agreed.
It's going to end with a cliffhanger. It's 100% going to end with a cliffhanger, right?
No.
Like, and I'm not even convinced that it's going to end with like a cliffhanger that you even know what's going on.
Someone in the background is going to be Dougie Jones. Someone in the background is going to walk up to someone and say, "Hey, how's Annie?" And then he's going to say, "How's Annie?" And then it's going to end.
I still like my thing that it's a big dream, and he wakes up and he says, "Annie? Annie, are you okay?" And then that's the end.
What if it's Annie's dream?
Coop, are you okay?
Are you okay, Coopy?
Works too.
So, guys, you want some bad news?
Oh no.
We only have 4 more weekends. So there are only going to be 4 more episodes of Alltalk Watches Twin Peaks. For now, at least.
I mean, we could do it again where we try to reanalyze everything and we would completely catch something different every time we watch it.
Now we'll just wait 20 years until the next season.
God, how old would David Lynch be by then?
Oh, he would probably not be around.
He's 71 now, so yeah, he could direct it at 96.
Actually, what's his name is still kicking and doing stuff. Clint.
So
if he can do it, Lynch can do it.
Mark Frost is only 63 by comparison.
I mean, basically every cast member would need to be replaced.
Not all the young ones that they brought in for this.
Yeah, but all the main characters.
It'd be all about Richard.
Or could it be all about Sonny Jim?
I'm looking at some of these people who have yet to appear.
I'm avoiding that list.
Don't say anything. Yeah.
I want to be surprised.
You look at that?
There's one in particular that I'm looking at, and it's like, oh.
Don't tease me like that.
It's
Well,
Billy
it's-
Zane, isn't it? It's Billy
No,
Zane.
it's not. No, it's not.
No, I don't.
No,
Don't tell him if he's right.
No, these are people who have not appeared in the show previously, who they don't know where to put them yet because the Wikipedia article like breaks down like who they are and where they fit as far as like physically. Like so there's the 6 people who were in New Mexico 1956, the 3 people who showed up for the New York stuff, the South Dakota, Las Vegas, the government, the essentially episode 8, Twin Peaks, and then all the stuff about Kyle MacLachlan, the essentially 3 characters that he's playing. But there's one on here for the yet to appear who will interest me, but probably no one else on this.
Is it Ed Begley Jr.?
Well, you'll have to find out.
I bet it's Ed Begley Jr. I'm gonna wrap up. Unless you have anything else you want to add?
4 more episodes, man. I mean, hopefully, I'll be interested to see what happens because it's just I feel like I just have no hope at this point.
Hope is lost. Well, thanks for listening. If you like it, share it and subscribe and everything. And also listen to the Geek Box and Alltalk, where we talk about all the geek stuff. And listen to the Comic Conspiracy and the Comedy Button and Manga Machinations. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.